What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Minority Meals and Medicine podcast.
Yes, great to have you all back for another episode. Super excited for this one.
Definitely, we have another banger for y'all. Today's podcast is sponsored by Mission to Medicine, a lifestyle brand that represents high achievers who are pursuing and actively living out their dreams of being healthcare professionals. Check out the latest merchandise online at www.missiontomedicine.com. Use discount code MissionToMedicine10 to save 10% off your purchase. And remember, it's not a sprint or a marathon, it's a mission to medicine. Today, we are going to be talking about how to choose your pre-med major. But is that even a thing?
Yeah, we're going to tackle that topic. A lot of people aren't really sure like what to major in. Heard some things about a pre-med major, like you have to major in certain things. Yeah. So we're definitely going to iron all that out for you in this episode.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Undergrad for me, I went in, bam, I thought I was going to major in bio. I knew that I wanted to become a doctor. I was trying to go to medical school. And in my mind, I was like, biology. Biology is just it. That's what I need to do to get to medical school, right? And I was starting to look at all the prerequisites, the baseline classes, like the content of the actual major. And I was like, looking at myself like, these classes really don't interest me. Like, I'm not trying to be out here learning about the plants and like that type of stuff. Like, I'm just not interested in that at all. Like, just put me in business if that's what we're going to do. But I realized that's not what I wanted to do, and I had to go and talk to an advisor. So I immediately went to my advisor, regular advisor in college, and she started just talking to me about all my options. And that's where I eventually found out that I did not need to major in biology to go to medical school. And that was a surprise to me. I was not privy to that information, knowing that you could major in anything. You can major in anything as long as it covers the pre-med requirements. So from there, I started exploring all the different options that were then laid out for me for as to what I could pursue at the time. And during that time period, my school had just implemented this new major called public health science. So they already had the public health major, but the public health science, that incorporated the pre-med requirements, if not all of them, but it wasn't all of them. It was just like most of them. And it was some additional pre-med requirements that I had to take on top of the major courses, but it was fine.
Yeah. And I kind of had like a similar kind of start, but my ending was a little different. So I came in, I think it was when I applied for college, I just selected like general biology. And then I think when I went through like orientation and then like first semester and kind of learning really more what that entailed, I realized I was going to like have to study the plants, as you said. I was gonna have to study the plants.
For everyone out there that likes studying the plants, I did not mean to offend you. I didn't mean to say it like that. It just doesn't interest me.
But so I realized I was gonna have to do a lot of that kind of stuff, like ecology and all those types of topics. But I wasn't as interested in those types of topics. I was more so interested in physiology and understanding how the body works and those types of topics. And I really enjoyed those things in high school when I got a chance to do it with my biology courses there. So I wanted to really do more of that in college. So talking with the advisor, talking with classmates and upperclassmen as well, I decided I wanted to do a specialization under biology called physiology and neurobiology, where I would get more of opportunities to take classes like endocrinology and mammalian physiology. And those classes would be part of the major. So for me, that's what I ultimately decided on doing. And I think it was a great fit for me to decide on that major.
For sure. And so I want you guys to understand, like, yeah, the title says what's the best pre-med major or how to major into a pre-med major. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you can major in anything that you want to as long as you get those pre-med requirements in. So that's just facts. And that's just the baseline where we're all starting at. But in order to know that you're pursuing the right major, it's important for you to think about a couple of things, right? So a lot of people should honestly start searching from like in high school, figuring out what exactly you like, what are you passionate about, what are things you're naturally drawn to. And for a lot of people, they don't know, right? They just don't know. But it's really to just get out there and to shadow, or it's not, we say shadow in the pre-med community for as like, being under a doctor and just like seeing what they do, but to just get out there and just get experience and reach out to people in certain industries that you think you might be drawn to. So for me, I know that I was always like an entrepreneurial type of person. So I knew that I wanted to incorporate that some way or the other. So I tried to incorporate that as a minor along with my major that was public health. But I wanted to put that in there because I knew that I had that type of interest in the backside that I still wanted to get some more knowledge and information about in college.
Yeah. And, at the end of the day, it's like when you major in other things that you're passionate about outside of just the sciences, that brings a unique perspective, especially when you're going through the application process to medical school. You'll have a unique perspective to bring that other people may not have, who had other majors than you. So I think that's definitely very valuable. And also at the end of the day, it's like you do want to have a good foundation in science. So it's not like we're saying that, you're not going to take any science classes in undergrad, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. You want to have a good foundation, but you don't necessarily need to take additional classes in science if you're really interested in business or computer science or something else. It's great to bring those perspectives into medicine as well, for sure.
Definitely. Like I did, I explored business, and I definitely am glad that I had that opportunity to learn a little bit more about how to run a company and how to incorporate that. And there's ties because, obviously healthcare industry, it's a business, it's a big business. So it's important to understand and how to think through certain things, business practices that we might be getting into as future physicians. And even for yourself, if you're thinking about, all right, where am I going to start from? Like if I'm going to become a doctor and I want to help people, there's many different career fields out there that you could potentially get into, right? But there's majors that you could also explore that could be helpful and valuable as a healthcare professional. So right now we're in the 21st century where technology is booming. So the tech industry is booming. How can you merge tech, like learning like coding and not learning computer science or computer information systems in undergrad and merging that with your pre-med classes, and how would that be beneficial down the road? What are different ways that you can figure out where the world is going and moving into a certain direction, what major is going to tailor to that direction? So for me, I saw tech. If I could go back, I'll probably major in tech, to be honest with you, but it's a little too late for all that.
Yeah, and I know for me, like, and that's kind of our biggest point here is kind of thinking about what things will be valuable in your career as a future physician, right? And I think one of the things that I've learned, as a medical student is that Spanish is a really valuable skill to have in a lot of different fields, but definitely in medicine. I remember on my OBGYN rotation, I was rotating at a hospital where I would say maybe like 25 to 30% of the patients I saw were Spanish speaking. And each time we had to pull out the translator machine that we had and translate for them so we can make sure they understand what's going on. But at the end of the day, if there was somebody like me as the medical student or someone else who was able to speak Spanish, we could at least have the small conversations and make them feel a little bit more comfortable. And I think that would be extremely valuable if I spoke Spanish.
How long did it take for y'all to translate it with the machine?
So it was like a FaceTime essentially type of call. So yeah, so there would be an iPad and the person would either video in or call in, and we would talk and they would listen. It was like FaceTime, and then they just translate and then kind of back and forth. Oh, okay. Which it works well, but I think that it would be nice too if you already had that language skill available to you for sure in your head, and you could just talk to the patient, make them feel comfortable, and let them know you understand them. So that's what I would say.
I definitely wish that I kept my tabs on the Spanish that I learned in high school. Yeah. Slipped me there.
No, yeah. So, I mean, and all these things that we're mentioning too, it's not like you necessarily, even if you say, okay, I want to major in something else and these skills would be good to have, you can also minor in it. I know where we went to school, you could minor in Spanish, you could minor in business, like Akeem was saying he did. So there's a lot of different options to explore different topics if you're interested in other things besides just science courses.
Definitely. But at the end of the day, if you want to become a doctor and medicine is still what you want to do, you can major, minor in anything that you want, but just get those pre-med requirements done. Make sure that you incorporate those science classes in there and you do the necessary extracurriculars that you need outside of the classroom, leadership opportunities to show that you're a well-rounded candidate, and ultimately you'll be fine. But it's just making sure you be intentional on getting those pre-med requirements done.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like you said, like we're saying, you can major in anything you want, but at the end of the day, when medical schools are looking at your application, they are going to want to see that you can handle those science courses because medical school is a lot of science courses. So you need to make sure you link up with your advisor or go online and look at the different medical school pre-med or medical school prerequisites. And make sure you take those courses. You're going to have to take some biology courses. You're going to have to take some chemistry, organic or general chemistry, biochemistry, I think is a common prereq as well.
Yeah, and he's leaving out a couple of things, like a lot of things. Like you just have to really go online and be intentional and look at it and do your research. And additionally, like for certain medical schools, they have their own specific requirements of what's necessary. So some of them might be asking for above and beyond. You might need biochem 2. Not just biochem 1, or you might need genetics. Some schools require genetics, some schools don't. So, and anatomy and physiology, usually anatomy and phys is not even required for med school, and people think that's a requirement. It's not. So you just be surprised. Just make sure you do your research and your homework on it, and definitely consult your pre-med advisor if you have one on campus.
Yeah. And if you're someone who came into college with a lot of AP credits, and that'll be helpful for you because it'll kind of open up some spots in your schedule. I personally wasn't someone who came in with a lot of AP credit, so I kind of, for the other classes I wanted to take, I kind of had to fit it in. I know sociology was another requirement, so I took that over a winter course or a winter semester, sociology, so I can make sure I got that requirement for medical school. But yeah, just make sure you have the courses that you need to take, and then you could fit it in where you need to fit it in.
Those are our main tips that we have for you as far as like what you all can do to figure out the major that you want to major in. If you have any ideas, this video got you start thinking about any ideas that you want to major in, comment down below. Type out 3 majors that interest you and you think that you want to pursue in college.
Or even if you're one of those people who created your own major, which I know some people do, comment that down below too. So give people some ideas. So if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the new content that we have coming for you all.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell to be updated on new video content when it comes to this channel. Believe in yourself because your future patients are counting on you.